Let me show you exactly how the Narcissist Translator works. In this screen, you can see that ChatGPT is talking to Tess. I have plugged in her personalized, filled out template of the Narcissist Translator, and he is now ready to be asked questions and to actually answer them. He said, "You're imagining things, you're always paranoid," after I asked if he was upset. Now break down exactly how this is gaslighting, explain the tactics he's using and what effect they're designed to have on me. I press enter. GPT says, "You're asking, are you upset?" is emotionally responsible communication, but his response, "You're imagining things, you're always paranoid," is textbook gaslighting. Let's break it down clearly and calmly so that you can see the game for what it is. He invalidates your personal perception. He's denying your reality. You noticed something felt off, maybe this tone, body language or energy, and you trusted yourself enough to check in. His response wasn't an answer, it was a dismissal of your right to notice or question. And this creates confusion and self-doubt. You started wondering, am I imagining it? Or maybe I'm too sensitive. That is the trap. It conditions you to ignore your gut and rely on his version of reality instead. Tactic number 2, gaslighting, was labeling you as the problem. And tactic number 3 for gaslighting was avoidance and control. So what he's doing is he's deflecting and turning the conversation into an attack on your perception. He avoids accountability and doesn't have to explain his mood, take responsibility for tension, or connect emotionally. You end up managing both your emotions and his, walking on eggshells just to avoid being shamed again. And then he's telling Tess the truth. You weren't paranoid. You had every right to ask about it. That's what emotionally healthy communication looks like. But someone who doesn't want to be held accountable will twist your concern into a character flaw, because that's easier than owning their part. You were seeking connection. He used deflection and blame to protect control, and that's not love. Okay, he's then giving you a grounding reminder. Now, if I would plug in the next prompt from Tess, which is, "I feel like I did something wrong for even asking a question. Help me regulate this spiral. Remind me of what's actually happening and help me calm my nervous system without blaming myself." Let's pause the panic, drop the guilt, and come back to what actually is true, not what you were conditioned to believe. First, let's name what's happening so it doesn't own you. You asked a calm, grounded question, and your body responded with panic, not because you did something wrong, but because you've been conditioned to associate honesty with danger. You were emotionally dismissed and blamed for even noticing a shift. That's not on you. That's a survival response from years of walking on eggshells. So what's actually not true, but your brain is whispering, is, "I caused this, I shouldn't have spoken up," or "I'm too sensitive." Let's regulate gently and safely. Let's talk to your nervous system like Malou would. Calm, clear, no nonsense. Back into your power. You didn't spiral because you're weak. You spiraled because your nervous system remembered past times when honesty cost you connection. But this time is different. You caught it, you're pausing, you're choosing you, and that's healing in real time. The next question I'm going to ask from Tess's perspective is, given what he said and how I feel, should I respond or just leave it alone? If I do respond, what's a calm, grounded message that holds my boundary and doesn't feed the manipulation? Beautiful question, Tess, and such a powerful moment of self-trust asking it. Let's ground this together. First, I need you to ask yourself, do I feel emotionally grounded right now? Do I want to set a boundary, seek clarity, or get validation, or will my silence be self-protection or self-abandonment? If staying silent feels like reclaiming your power, leave it alone. If it feels like you're shrinking to stay safe, you may want to speak, not to change him, but to honor yourself and to grow from a self-esteem and confidence perspective. His message was manipulative. You do not owe it a reply. Silence can be a boundary, especially when the other person is trying to hook you emotionally. But if a reply would make you feel clearer, stronger, or more in control of your narrative, you're allowed to craft one. Option 2 is respond calmly and hold your ground. Here is an example. I wasn't trying to start anything, I was simply checking in because something felt off. Dismissing my feelings as paranoia doesn't sit right with me. I'm allowed to notice shifts and ask questions without being made to feel like I'm the problem. Why this works: it's direct but not aggressive. It sets a boundary. I don't accept emotional dismissal. It doesn't justify or over-explain. It places the responsibility back where it belongs. You're not responding to fix him. You're responding, if you choose to stay connected to you. Because whether you say it aloud or only to yourself, you are not too much, you are not imagining it, and you're sure as hell do not need to apologize for noticing the truth. And then he says, let me know what you decide and I'll stand with you either way.